Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I am your humble host, Mr. David Knoll, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers. And I greet you with the love and the honor of the infinite creator. And I continue to pray that each and every day, each and every one of you will accept, receive, and learn how to accept the healings, the knowledge, and wisdom and the blessings from the universe. Now, I hope everyone is doing as well as possible under the circumstances. And as we all know, there are a lot of circumstances. There are a lot of sick folk out there who need our prayers. There are a lot of folks who are just, and I mean this in a kind way, but a little wacky in the head right now because of everything that's going on. And what we must do is be patient. And we must, now when things are kind of like really leery and what are people thinking and where's this stuff coming from and all this other kind of stuff, we need to keep a straight head. We need to keep our focus. We need to stay within our own little area, and we need to stay protected. It doesn't mean that we're supposed to shut off the rest of the world. No, if anything, it's that we need to be sure who we are. Now, this title is pretty self-explanatory, except in that, I'd take my hat off. I just felt like wearing a hat. Get her done, right? Okay, but anyway. So this idea, though, that who is Dante and what's going on and all that kind of stuff, I can't explain all that. I can say, though, that many of the things that I've been talking about, now I've been following his channel ever since the days of the alien book that came out and that they published, I don't know, 10, 15, long time ago, the Alien Handbook. And so I've been watching, listening to Dante for a long time. So there are certain things that I just can't explain it, but I know that what he has said or stated is true. I feel it in my heart. And, there's a feeling in my chest that I can't explain any other way other than, can I prove it? No. Am I sure? No. But there's something about what is heartfelt. Now, one of the things that people have been asking me for years and I have discussed, and I used to be a Catholic, altar boy, pedophiled by priests, the whole 9 yards, right? But in that, one of the holiest people that I've ever met was a Dominican nun. And I've talked about Sister Helene before. And she appeared along with Mother Mary right here at my living room a couple of years ago. That was a little on the freaky side. Really freaky. But anyway, so this idea, though, that do I have any inside information? Well, I try to stay tuned into the universe. And a lot of things can distract us. Do I know exactly what's going on? No. But in my heart of hearts, I know in the studies and things, and Dante did a video yesterday or today, I just saw it recently, and thought I need to do this. But I've been talking about the fact that, the Catholic Church was split from the Orthodox Church way back during the Christianity days. Why do you think they call it Roman Catholic? Because the Romans went in there and, whoever was pretending to be Pope at the time, decided that this was going to be true, right? And the Orthodox Christians, now mostly it's called Russian Orthodox, but back in the day there was Greek Orthodox and there was this anyway, let's just stick with Orthodox. So in my own personal let me understand about religion, the Catholics always said, if you can't make it to a Sunday Mass at a Catholic church, you can go to a Greek Orthodox church, because there was one over in Tarpon Springs, and we used to camp over there as Boy Scouts and so forth. But the idea was that there was a hierarchy of churches, that if you couldn't get to a Catholic church, then the Greek Orthodox was the next best thing. Or any Orthodox, like I said, living around Tampa, it was the Greek Orthodox from Tarpon Springs. The next other thing was Well, then if you can't find that one, then you can go to a Presbyterian or an Episcopal, or then, God forbid, if you can't find that, you can go to a Methodist church. But we prefer these other. I swear to God, in in the 60s, that's what they taught us. The hierarchy of what church you can go to, as far as how close they were related to the Catholic Church. Interesting enough, though, that the Orthodox Church was the second. Well, if you can't go to this one, go to that one over there. And we kind of sanction it. Now, isn't that interesting? Now, Most Holy Redeemer had an old church that I got my first communion. I was confirmed in the other church, but I'd have to ride my bicycle down from my grandma's house down into the Sulphur Springs area and go to this beautiful old church that's not there anymore. But it was all done in Greek Orthodox style, the Orthodox type style of painting, motif, the inside of the church. It was beautiful. And that was the statue that first spoke to me, Mother Mary. No, the statue, but her entity was there in that. Anyway, I don't know if anybody else saw it, but I know I did. So, but that was the start of my journey at the age of 7 and first communion with the Catholic Church. But it's interesting that the church was designed after a Greek Russian Orthodoxy church, Byzantine. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. Let me say hi to everybody. Silky Vanilla, if you're there. Teresa, hello. How are you? My brother and my friend. You're my sister and my friend. Thank you, Teresa. Candy, Apple. Every time I see your name, I think of Carney days and the working in the popcorn wagon. Love, peace, joy, and gratitude to you all. Thank you, Candy. Teresa, Chloe, hi there. And Robert V. Hello there, Robert V. And I don't see anybody else. And I don't want to put my glasses on because they steam up. Anyway, so now about this Christianity thing. So I have been very irreverent in certain ways about religions, because religions are all about the fact that you must bow down and that you must worship. And that's just one word that and I've had this, sorry about that. Hey, let's all say thank you to Bob. I haven't said hi to Bob in a while. Let's make sure that Bob, our artificial intelligence one out there, a little bit of coffee. Here's some fairly fresh coffee. Here's to you, Bob, and cheers to all of you. Now, in the study of the Bible, and I've got one over here, and I've been online and checking all the different kinds. There's a lot of discrepancies about a lot of stuff and about a lot of hooey and this and that, and goodness gracious me. Let's all agree with one thing. You know, now there are people who are going to say that Jesus didn't exist. For this particular instance, because of the Dante and so forth, I'm going to say he did exist. Or a gentleman that they, you know, his name could have been Joe for all we know, because the J didn't exist back then in the Hebrew sense. You know, there is no J, right? So Yahweh, yeah, well, what was his name? Maybe it was Bill, you know? And he was like, here's Bill running around, you know, and he's got a brother, John and Joe and all these other guys. Anyway, so the true story is not being told, even in the Bible, that was written years after these folks were around. So we have to take into consideration the winners of the battle, whoever they were, or are, or things have changed hands over the years, but they wrote down what they thought they should to keep all of us in line, okay? So this idea of Christianity, now let's just break it down simply. Now, you've heard me talk about the Kristus, not in great lengths or anything, but you have heard me talk about the cause. What is our cause? I have stated this, and I firmly believe it. You know, the angels, the Kristus, the good guys, the Anunnaki, the Kurs, I'm on their side because I want this madness to stop. Now, in one of my last videos about cosmic updates and so forth, there's a lot of crazy mess going on in this universe. It's not just here on this planet. And it hasn't just been in the last 2,000, 3,000 years. It's been going on for a long time. There are ancient enemies who've been fighting good, evil, who thinks they're right, and say I was born and raised a Nazi. Now, if that was the way I was raised and interjected into, and the Aryan race and everybody else must die, which, as who I am, I'm absolutely on the opposite end of that one. But, if I had been raised in that, unless I had had some kind of cosmic awareness, then I would have just hated everybody but white people. That's not the case. So how we are raised and how our personalities and who we are in this 3D reality is formed by our morals. In other words, if it's so, and back in the old days down here in the South, it was okay to hang black folk. It's like, well, he looked at a white lady. Let's hang that nigger. And that's the way them folks were down here. Some of them are still like that. I meant no offense, but that's how some of these folks still are down here in the deep South. And not just in the South, mind you. There are some folks up in Ohio that would like the same way. But anyway, the idea, though, that Kristus, Christian, is not based upon any religion. Okay. Now, Dante confirmed this in his last, well, as of this, it was his last video. And I was like, oh, thank you, because that's kind of what has been in my heart. There's no religion that actually teaches. And I've always thought white people were a little stupid in this because they never understood what the Native American is born with. And I've discussed that. So, but the idea, a quote, of goddess, which Mother Earth, mother, nurturing, what the hell is, so, well, you said the word goddess. Well, if there's a god and he's a guy and there's a goddess, she's the girl, there's supposed to be yin and yang. There's supposed to be male and female. This is part of the genetic makeup of the cosmos in a way. So it's not necessarily opposing factors, but the females, of course, I've met some bloodthirsty females in my time, but generally they're more nurturing, where the guys are like, well, let's go shoot up. I still like blowing up stuff, not to hurt, but firecrackers and, anyway, shame on me. I'm not much into guns, but man, I love fireworks. I think I must have been a cannoneer in the old days. Used to have a cannon, a little small brass thing. And man, boom. Oh, it was great. But anyway, rattle windows when we shot it off on special occasions, which was like, hey, let's go shoot the cannon. And now you can't do that kind of stuff anymore. They frown upon it because they might think that we're going to try to take over the world or something. Anyway, back on track. So when Dante started to, speaking just in flat, open terms about videos and things, it's clarified up for me a lot of stuff. I am Christian in that I believe in the Kristus cause, spelled with a K. But in that, what does that mean? It means being nice to each other. It means that humanity, and not just us humans on this planet, but humanity in general into the cosmos is, so this idea that somehow, well, there's a God and that there's this. I think there are good guys and bad guys in the universe. We can all probably, for those of us who believe in alien races, which I think are most of us, that there's the good guys and the bad guys, period. And, but that's enough. But of that, we can say, though, that the Kristus group and the Anunnaki group, which has gotten a bad name, by the way, and that the idea, quote, of Christian having nothing to do with religion, but maybe very close to being related to Christ. And he was Jesus the Christ, not Jesus Christ. That wasn't his last name. He was Jesus the Christ. So pay attention to that. So in Dante's discussions, he's like, there's the war down here, and then there's the space wars up here, and we're way down here in this mess. And then up here, there's the Vlash and the Mater and the Kristus and the Anunnaki and the Kurz. And I don't know about all this stuff. And then there's even a higher level above that. And we're sitting down here worried about, well, there's people that are rioting. Well, then let's talk to each other and say, hey, we as normal people, protesting is one thing. But if we're going to go out and somebody's going to break a window and blame it on me or us that we're rioting, then I'm not going to go. And it has to do with our own stupidity. Well, I think we should go out and protest. Okay. But if there's a chance that there's going to be some idiots in the group, I'm going to stay home. I'm going to protest in a different way. So this stuff that's going on now, I mentioned last Friday, and I was like, I don't think that 85-90% of the people involved in these things are really trying to riot. Now, that was Friday. Now, things have changed since Friday and beyond, in that now they're looking at it as though, now, I think we're all go out. I know we've all been under tension. We're all have been under, compressed and stressed, and steam's got to let off. But breaking windows and all this other stuff and burning stuff down, that isn't you and me. So if you know anybody, and we need to be calm about this. We don't need to be cursing people for what they want to, but we need to tell them, do you understand how people are looking at this? You say, well, we've got to protest to make our voices heard, but do you have to riot? Well, we didn't start out then don't do it. I'm an old protester from way back. My hair is hidden behind me here. Have been seriously considering cutting my hair, but because it's getting thin and there's little short ones up here and it's like a wreck. But anyway, but the idea though that how is this tied into the Kristus and to Christ and to Christianity and all that? Because the basic premise of Christianity is to love thy neighbor as thyself, to forgive and forgiveness and all that kind of good stuff. Ain't nothing wrong with that. In the world of the shaman and so forth, unless they're on the leaning in the dark side, which we're not even there. As shamans in training, what we understand is the more that we can become our true selves, the more that we can be that divine being, the more that we can tune in without any religious rhetoric to try to influence, well, you should think this way. When I was into Catholic Church and a little boy, I was asking questions. My knuckles were bleeding at times because I was asking questions the nuns couldn't answer. You must have faith. And I'm like, well, sister, I got faith. I'm an altar boy. If I didn't have faith, I wouldn't be an altar boy. Yeah, but what is this thing about? Well, we can't talk about that. Why can't we talk about it? Well, that's a mystery of the church. Why is it a mystery? Well, because we don't want to talk about it. But, I was hell in school until I learned they're not going to answer these questions. They either don't know or they just, the big phrase was, you must have faith. Well, I got twice as much, 10 times more faith now in a, quote, creator and the God and the universe and everything than I ever did going to a church, except in the early days. But that was before I found out how much fakery and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, Dante even suggested, he said, the Kristus don't belong to a church. And I was like, yay, good. He's shown several things with um, um, Krill, I can't think of his name, the Russian Pope. And the fact that he's been like trying to keep things together and keep, more than I got to say this fake Pope is. And there are a lot of people say, well, he's not really a fake Pope. Oh, yeah, check it out. He is. He's a stand-in. He's the mayor of the Vatican, by the way. Not necessarily the Pope, okay? Because the other one's still alive, Ratzinger. Boy, does he look funky. But anyway, so in this, though, do we have to know what's going on all the levels up the ladder? No. Now, it doesn't mean that we should be stupid and act irresponsibly. And that's not the point. If we know what the basic premise of Christianity, the Kristus, and those who work for the cause, my cause is to be as good a human being as I possibly can. That's my goal. Because if I can be the best that I can be, then I can help other people correctly. Now, one of the things that surprised me, but not really, was Dante said that, now I'm not trying to quote him, and I just want to say that you've heard me talk for many years, and Dante came out with, I was like, I just need to repeat this. I need to talk about this on my channel because I think it's important, and I got confirmation, and it's not about religion. It's about what's in your heart. And there are many of us who are more worried about our neighbors making it to heaven than we are about ourselves, or not we collect, but some people, Well, the little old ladies in the Baptist church, they're like, oh, look, oh, God bless her, her pea picking little heart. She's, oh my goodness, judging other people. We can't. Well, trying to help someone else, we can sit down and talk to them, but none of us can save another person. Think about it. None of us. Now, my grandiose thing in life, when Mother Mary first appeared to me, she said, you got some stuff to do later on. We'll let you know. I talked about it. And she showed up with reinforcements in my living room. But anyway, so to say that it's important that we discuss these things, because too many people are worried about, well, what religion should I join? Why are you worried about a religion? Because the media and society has taught us we can't get to heaven unless we're, we have, drenched ourselves in the blood of Jesus. We must be baptized in the name of the Lord. Hallelujah. But that's not true. Lots of people made it to heaven and are still going because they are pure. They're as pure of heart as they can be. So I can worry about my neighbor, and I can say, if you need help, let me know. But none of us can take that horse to water and make him drink. Horses are big animals, by the way, but you know what I mean, the old adage. But the idea, though, that listen up, we can show the horse where the water is, but the horse is going to decide whether or not to drink. We can help other people. Thank you, Chloe. Yeah, please, Bob. Let's all, Bob, help us out here. I've seen a little glitching. Here's some coffee. So, and Dante suggested that by the cause, do we have to be, know what all what the angel class is doing? No, I don't need to, because I know what my job is here on this end. There's a lot of grunts on the ground for any kind of war. But when we can understand there's more going on in the universe, when we can understand that we're down here and there's all these other levels, and then there's the and that's and the folks that are trying to, whoever them folk are, they're trying to keep the whole planet from getting zapped and blasted into a gazillion pieces. Forget asteroids coming in. What about giant beams that'll blow the planet into smithereens? I'm a little bit more worried about that one, if you know what I mean. But the idea, though, that our cause is simply to be as good people as we can, not be, I find myself after the stimulus and so forth, I got more money in my bank account, especially now that I just got my check yesterday. And I'm like, holy cow. I can't remember the last time I had this much money in my account. And now I don't want to squander it. But instead of like buying something for me, I'm actually like, well, I know a friend of mine, she needs that. And I got another friend over here and they need this. I wonder how I can get that to them, And if I get this, are they going to be pissed at me? Or, is this what they need? Anyway, so I'm not necessarily looking as to what I can do for me, although I need some work done around here, around the house, and some, leaks in the roof and things. But the bottom line is though I've actually like, I got some extra money. I could help somebody else who really needs it maybe more than me, because I've been, eking out a living down here for the last 40 odd years. So I'm cool with it, but other people aren't so cool with it. So my job as a possible Kristus hybrid is that I'm here to help other people realize who they are, who you folk are. You don't have to be like me, but there is a rule of thumb. And that's if you're hating all the time, that's not good. Now, the bad guys who really do bad things, we don't like them, but it doesn't do a bit of good for us to hate on it, no matter who it is. And this stuff about, oh my God, they're hating on Trump some more. Oh, God. Y'all should hate on Joe Biden for a while. He's the one that's been pedophiling little children and so forth. Let's look underneath the covers here, pay attention to what's going on. Oh, but, anyway. But that's enough of that part. But as far as us working for the cause, if we're working to do good things, if we're working to improve our own personal space, our own self, that's what should be key. Because if I'm trying to help out my neighbor and all he's going to do is like shoot me birds and throw rocks at me, well, I'm going to get him to come to my side. I'm going to have a come to Jesus meeting. We're going to, I'm going to teach him about this. And are you sure about what you know yourself? Are you practicing your own stuff? Are you so worried about your neighbor, you're not going to make it? Now, he put that out, and I thought to myself, I have stated in my videos and conversations with y'all, and my own observations and etc. But the shaman in training thing is that you can't help anybody else unless you're sure of who you are. So if your spiritualness is all over the place and it's all right to like, well, I had this spiritual experience and this is what I got from it. Or and then over here, but there are a lot of people that are, well, I read this book and you all should read it. Now, I don't mean this about Milky Way or Brian. But there are some folks that, well, I read this book and you should take, and this is the Bible now. For some reason, people have to have a Bible. They got to have a reference point, right? I've got my books. I got whole stacks of books there and over there on the thing and, all about that. And all. So, hey, Millie Cow, blessings to you. I was thinking about you the other day and hoping that you were well and at least still alive. And I see that you are. So blessings your way. Chloe, Teresa, did I miss anybody else? Oh, wait, somebody else showed up. Ian, I think. David Castle, I didn't know if I said hey, but hello. Yeah, Ian Barber. Okay, hi, if you're still there. All right. So I was surprised, not necessarily shocked by what Dante said about, we need to quit worrying about all these other people. We need to worry about ourselves. And not to be selfish, but if I haven't done my own homework, my neighbor ain't going to get me to heaven. My neighbor may be kind, sweet, have some philosophical things, and we can have discussions. But my neighbor ain't getting me to heaven. They ain't got me a ticket. Well, here, I got a special ticket for you. Here, it's even punched. You get to go. Nuh-uh. We got to do our own work, each and every one of us. And every situation that comes up, recently have had to revise my own personal stuff, And well, okay, I got knocked for a loop in a lot of ways. And so now I have to look around and go, okay, don't freak out. Now I got to admit, it knocked me off my feet pretty well. But now I'm like, okay, I'm starting to recoup, And where does this go from here? So the best thing is if you get knocked down, before you get up, make sure that there ain't somebody big with an axe standing over you. You might want to crawl a little bit before you stand straight up. But the idea is though that you get up, and we keep moving in the right direction. Now, as far as any kind of religion is concerned, as far as the Kristus are concerned, there is no true religion because nobody is telling the truth. But I got to say that some of the Hindu and some of the Buddhist things, the teaching of Buddha is the teaching of how to be one with nature and one with all things. And the same thing with Confucius. Confucius wrote down some really cool stuff, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Well, I don't know if he wrote that one, but to the point though. And for a long time I was like, what do you mean? I got a bird in the hand versus two in the bush. Well, if you got one, but you see two more, you don't drop that one. And anyway. But so here's what we need to consider, each and every one of us. And blessings and greetings to you. I mean this. The League of Like-Minded Beings. LOLMB. LOLMB. The League of Like-Minded Beings. Those of us who are on the positive side of things, we feel that interaction between us. We feel that positive energy. When a troll shows up and they wanted to speak about, well, God, what about this and blah, blah, blah. The Jews did it. George Soros is to blame for all of this. Are you serious? I know the guy's nuts, but there are whole organizations. Maybe he's funded them. That might be true. I'm going through stuff today. I know I'm just running around on the topic, isn't I? But if we can't make ourselves calm, if we can't keep ourselves together during this weirdness, how in the hell can we help anybody else? And now, if your neighbor has a flat tire, I pull over the side of the road and help him out. Ooh. Y'all haven't met my new dog yet. Actually, he's he's about 3 years old. Come here, Duggar. Come here. Come up here. This is Duggar, everybody. Hey, and come here to me, you. This is Duggar. Say hello, Duggar. Yeah, I know. Just say hello. I love you. I do. I love you, Duggar. Okay. Every time he shakes, I had no. He's a short-haired dog. About time for him a bath too. Time for us to go to the river while the water's still up. But anyway, I got interrupted there. But this idea, though, that we need to work on ourselves and not to be narcissistic about it. Duggar, yeah, Dugger, Duggar, and I call him Doug. And this dog, we'll talk about the dog for a minute. This dog, long-legged hound dog, and he does this boing, 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 boing. Everybody that's come by to see me, that deer's like an antelope or something. We took him down in the woods well, he was in the woods. We were down in the swamp, and in my kayak, And here you doing, 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 doing. He runs and then springs. It's it's great. I love to watch him. And quick, oh my God, he's across the yard in 3 seconds. And I'm like, wait, and he's already gone. But I was talking with my friend, and whose name rhymes with Bob, said, that's the swamp donkey. And I was like, I thought he said swamp doggy. No, he said swamp donkey. He looks sort of like a donkey and I was like, oh, that's even funnier. But anyway, so Duggar's a part of the family officially this week, a month. So welcome, Duggar. He's doing real well, and we're still. He takes up more of the bed than I do, but that's all right. We have a couple little cranky moments. But anyway, moving on back to the topic. So, of all the things that we can do to help the world, and I've spoke about this before, and Dante even kind of confirmed it for me. The best thing we can do, because others are listening, the angels and the folk, if we do the best that we can with ourselves and in our area, without trying to save the planet. And there are folks, well, I'm going to work for this guy, and I'm going to work, and I'm going to do, and I'm going to become a 72. Listen, we're all 72 pluses. In that we may not be on the front line, but who makes the uniforms? Who cooks the meals? Who does the grunt work? Who does it's us. So you and me, we may not be attuned to the higher whatever is going on. We don't need to be. Because by our actions, and thank you, Dante, by our actions, he confirmed it. And it just helps me to go, yeah, I kind of felt like this was right. But the small acts that we perform on this ground level adds up. He didn't say it this way. But I've been talking about it, and it does accumulate. So call it karma. But if you do bad things and mess it up, then what kind of energy are you sending into the universe? Bad energy. But if we try to keep it between the ditches, we try to do the good. Now we're mess up. Sometimes I, have tried to do a good thing and it ended up, but we do the best we can. That's the bottom line. Do we do the best that we can? And the answer is hopefully. So, and we try not to be swayed by other entities to go, well, you should talk bad about this person, or you should take revenge, or you should do such and such. Now, there are times when revenge, or let me say, things need to be avenged. In other words, if somebody massacres a whole village of people, then the people who did the massacre, they should pay, right? We can agree on that. So in war, there are nasty things that go on. I may not know what the bad guys are doing. I can see the chaos they're trying to spread. Now, in this, my cause is not to change the world. It's to help other people change themselves. So my big ambition in life is to not become president or to become this person or that or whatever. And God forbid, I don't want to be a false guru either. I'm a shaman in training. I keep saying that. And other folks use the word that I'm a guru. Thank you, because I can only be a guru through your eyes. It's not through mine. But in that, I know that I am a shaman in training, and I'm going to keep training until I pass into the next life. And who knows, I might have to train beyond that. It's okay. But in the grand scheme of me and how I am tied into the universe, I'm tied in with you folks. There are 19 people watching right now. Or at least there were. Somebody dropped out. But that's more people than's ever been on live at one time here. Great. Cheers. I love you all. I do. And Bob, help us out here. But the idea, though, that our small purposes add up. Did you do good? Yeah, it's sort of. Now, this is my take. Santa Claus has got a list, right? Well, have you been naughty or have you been nice? Now, it isn't the degree of niceness. It's not that, well, I made $1 million and donated it. Well, but what happened? Did it actually help anybody? Or did it just make you feel good because you donated money? Well, I donated, but what did you do with it? Why not? Did you put anybody to work? Well, no, I just gave it to a charity. Well, did that charity do any good? Well, 20%'s tied up in administration. And so you were too lazy to help them out yourself, but you gave them monetary. Anyway, so there you can help some little old lady cross the road and, in a way, score more points than donating $1 million. Because if you got it to donate, you don't need it, If I was to say, well, I'm going to donate $1,000, I only make $1,000 a month, so it's like, that's a big deal to me, but I would do it if I had to. So, or if I could, but my point to this is, so our degree of, well, I did this, look how nice and shiny I am. Yeah, but the lady who only has $5 and gives 4 of it to a stranger, that or man or whoever, but the idea though that in the degree of things, so you can have nothing and give everything. How does that score on the grand scheme of things? St. Peter's got a scorecard at the pearly gates, because you want to live in that. I don't want to live in it, but for those people who want to go through them pearly gates and live in that gated community, not me. I want to be a free and clear spirit. I'm leaving this prison to go to heaven and be locked up in another one. I don't think so. Because the paradigm shift in this is heaven's inside the pearly gates, the golden gates. And St. Peter's there going, check your ass off, see what you've been doing, yes or no. And say, well, Mr. Jones, because you were so good, we're going to give you the keys to a brand new golden Cadillac. And say, well, how come that person over there is driving in a beat up Chevy? Well, they didn't do so many good things. Like what? Well, she cheated on her husband and this, that, and anything. So, it's an old clunker, but it runs. And then, the guy's driving through the pearly gates in his big old gold Cadillac, and he sees the little old lady drive by in a clunker. And she says, well, she cheated on her husband. And then he sees his wife go by on a skateboard. You get the joke? So for all the good things he done, for all the rewards that he was going to get, he got a golden Cadillac. His wife made it to heaven too, but she was on a skateboard. So, but good things, bad things, do we end up in the same place? The idea of that we end up there in varying degrees is dependent upon us. How fine-tuned can we get our own energy? How fine-tuned can I work with the universe? And all I have to do is understand, well, you know what? There are orbs and things that exist in other dimensions. It'd be interesting to find out more, but the biggest thing is I know they exist. I know that some of them are mean, bad, and nasty critters. I'm going to try to stay away. Then I'm going to ask them and tell them, listen, I want nothing to do with you. I am Hawkeye Two Feathers. I am a sentient being, and I am here in this place and this time to bring peace and honor to this area, to these people, to these entities. And I wish no harm upon any being, and I wish no harm upon me. So it's sort of like a little blanket prayer, So, but what you do is you allow the entities around you, and they're there, to say, well, wait a minute, he's stating who he is. Now, not in a narcissistic way. Well, I'm not God. No, I'm Hawkeye Two Feathers. That's who I am. I'm David Null. I'm Hawkeye Two Feathers. And my purpose here is to bring peace and harmony and joy and love and to share it. That's my purpose. Well, but how are you going to do it? I don't know. Maybe I'm just going to sit here and smile all day. Hey, y'all, I'm old Hawkeye down here from South Georgia. If I had some tobacco, I'd spit it. ding, anyway. So, but the idea though that all these other things are stealing our energy, all the other chaos is going to drive us mad, all the whodunits. Now, it's interesting to follow, but when we keep our emotions out of the chaos, we can still retain who we are. And by retaining who we are, we're stronger in that to deal with the chaos that's coming, the chaos that's here. And you don't think some of these, and I don't mean, let me bring this up since we're kind of on the subject. If everything bad that happens is either George Soros, or to some folks, well, the Jews did it, or what about those, those other, it's the Satanist, so we got to have a word for whoever the hell is doing the nonsense. We have to have a religion to study. What if there is no religion? Like I was saying, we study books, but oh my God, we got to study the Bible. Well, that's just somewhere that just got a lot of stuff in, and but should you believe every word? Should you never look at another, spiritual book? Should you not ever look at other places or other, I would say no, because then that keeps, you can only see this much of the universe. Well, what about what's over to my right side? I don't know. Well, what's over there? I don't know. I can't see because I'm focused right here. That's it. I can't see anymore. If you only look at the Bible, especially if you look at some of these newer ones, go back to the older versions. They're much more effective. They're much more true to heart. My daughter, I love her to death. She might come to see me for Father's Day or around that time. And I told her point blank, I said, any day that I would see my daughter is Father's Day. So I don't need a special day. But any day that I spend with my daughter is Father's Day. So, but anyway. But the idea, though, that she went back to the old Bible, like I told her. I said, you're reading all these King James versions. Go back to the Dewey Ream. Go back to the before King James got his paws on it. She goes, oh my God, Pops, it's so easy to read and understand. She was like, oh my God. I was like, yeah. So what Bible are you reading? What religion are you studying? How are you putting your faith? And if you're getting on your knees worshiping anything, beware. Mother Mary has never, ever put a thing in my heart that says I must worship her. Adoration. And in the older Bibles, the word was not, the word was adore. Not to bow down and worship. It was to adore the mother, adore the father. I adore my grandmother, but I don't worship her. No one deserves the right to be worshiped. Period. I said no one. Now, the entities out yonder, I don't think they need to be worshiped either. But should we give respect and honor and adoration to the mother goddess of all things? Yeah. And that's just being respectful. For example, if, Mother Mary shows up in front of me again, I bow my head and I say, oh, thank you. But I'm not worshiping her. I adore her to no ends because she has helped me in times when nothing else would. And I have talked about it. Now, there are folks who, they don't know what the Catholic Church is about, what's a rosary and all that kind of stuff. But a message, this is about a year ago, but the message was, for those of you who have Catholic background or who care, say a rosary. And it's basically 50 prayers. There's 10 in a spot, 10 goes back around. Anyway, so, but if you wish to, that was something that was done for Mary. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Now, what's wrong with that prayer? You're just saying, hey, I see you. Now, Dante said something about, yeah, you don't have to be a virgin to be a, but anyway, so the Virgin Mary, the thing, the data, well, but anyway. But can we ask Mother Goddess? Can we, when I say the prayer, it's not a Catholic prayer to me. It is my prayer to the Mother Mary that I know. It's not the Catholic version. It's my altered version of Mother Goddess and Mother Mary from what I learned through Catholicism. But anyway, so some folks would like to argue and get into semantics about that, and it doesn't matter. Do you understand that the female, and I don't, oh man, there are some females, and you could say that Hillary is one of them, if you know what I mean, that I am woman, hear me roar. And now that you can hear me, you're going to do what I frickin' say, because I'm a woman and I've been depressed for so long and I need, what, hang on. You're not necessarily looking for equal rights, because if you were looking for equal rights, you wouldn't be standing up there screaming at all of us men. Well, that's your damn fault. No, it ain't. It's y'all's fault for not, picking up your side of the ball. I'm sorry. But then there are those women who are so demanding and who are so, and men I have relatives that are like this. Okay. So, men are to be shot and quartered and, woo-hoo. Hang on. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a guy, but let's leave it at that. But the idea, though, that there is so much animosity and women think we should be, you will obey me, you will worship me, you will whatever it is you think you need to do because I'm a woman and because of Mother Mary and the Goddess, worship me, worship me, worship me. No. You have to deserve it. Show me why I should respect you. Now, I respect all human beings unless you give me a reason not to, but show me why you want me to worship you or to go along with whatever it is that is going on in your little pumpkin head. And so I think back and I go, well, but hang on now, but what has this person done? Yep. Women this and women that, and men are hogs and dogs and okay. And you wonder why men want to go fishing without you, But anyway, back in the day, it was coon hunting, and down here, coon hunting's almost gone. What a shame. This Duggar over here would be a good coon dog hound. Woo, 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 woo. Ain't that right, Duggar? He turned around and looked at me. But anyway. So men don't need to be worshipped. Women don't need to be worshipped. We need to be respectful amongst each other. But if I've done something dishonorable, now if I go, well, it really wasn't my fault, but it really was, and and folks know about it, then that's dishonor. I'm dishonoring myself. I'm lying to other people because I'm lying to myself and not being honest. So therefore, the lie is perpetuated. Well, no. We need to say, listen, I goofed up. I messed up. But I'm going to try. I'm telling y'all I messed up. And I'm going to have to figure out what I did and how I'm going to change it. Because I realize I messed up. But for the other folks that go, well, it just happened and such, it's beyond my control. Was it really? Are you being honest with yourself? Are you being honest to the universe? I mean, so this hedging your bet and hiding to yourself and, well, it really wasn't like that. Oh, the hell it wasn't. Quit lying to yourself and the rest of us. Because it isn't about St. Peter standing at the pearly gates. But in the total essence of your soul, if you're not being honest with yourself, then being honest with your neighbor doesn't matter. I mean, it does, but lying to your neighbor, but if you're lying to yourself, how are you going to get to the heaven? How are you going to get to the higher realms. How are you going to become that spiritual being we all hopefully are striving for? Can't. And if we try to save all of our neighbors, we won't have enough energy to go there ourselves. That doesn't mean we should stop, but there are those people who are so focused on saving humanity, they ain't got a clue what they're missing themselves. And that, I could drop a few names, but I won't. Some of them with thousands of subscribers who talk about this and that and the other thing. Some of the discussions are really good, don't get me wrong. But the idea, though, that these folks seem to be just going around in circles, chasing their own tail. And, well, it's got to be a book. It's got to be a this. It's got to be a that. It's got to be in tarot. It's got to be in the cards. What about it's just in the universe and you should tune in? And not try to think. I've spoke about this before, but it's important. What we expect to hear. So I'm going to meditate from the universe, and I've got something here, and I want to fix it. Blah, 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 blah. So all these thoughts run around through my head, right? Well, it could be this, or it could be that. Blah, blah, blah. Well, that was 2 weeks ago. Well, I meditate on the same thing. A week later, the thoughts are all different because time has passed. Minor situations have altered. It rained one day, so I couldn't work in the yard, or just little things. But it gives you time to reevaluate what you thought you had your mind made up a week ago. But now, a week later, you focus, you meditate on the same thing, and you allow the energy to come through. And now, because you have had a chance to let those things settle for the last week, all of a sudden there are different ideas that come in. Different feelings that flood in, other things that change the place. And you go, well, I hadn't really considered that a week ago. I wonder what another week's going to do. I'm not in a hurry with this, but, I would really like to know how to go about this. So you let another week pass without being, narcissistic or whatever. And after another week, you look back on the 2 weeks now and you go, things have changed. I don't feel the same way I did 2 weeks ago. I've had an opportunity to let that first decision settle. And then I had a chance to go, wait a minute, let me reevaluate that. Now, it could be a week. It could be 2 days. It could be a year. That's not the point. The point is that we should reevaluate, because as we live, as we experience, we must stop and go, wait a minute, I got new information here. Let me, if I'm driving down the same road and I come up, it's paved. I was on a road the other day and it's paved. I'm driving along and I'll come around the corner and the pavement ends. Dirt road. And I'm like, ooh, I forgot about this. So just because the road starts out paved, or just because the road starts out bumpy, doesn't mean it's going to end up that way. It doesn't mean that the road's even going to, go any further. It could just quit, could just be a dead end and there's no signs. So, but in life, so what we do is we have to keep an eye on stuff, right? So if we going along and the pavement ends, but there's still a road, you're going to slow down. You're not going to go 60. You're going to go 25, 30 because the potholes are this deep. So, but in doing so, though, we must evaluate as we go along in life. So my core value is still the same. I still want to do good. I still wish to pass on good vibes and love and peace. But sometimes we have to reevaluate into how we get that point across, and to who we choose to share it with, and whether or not we should literally waste our time on someone, especially if we're the ones that are trying to instigate or to push it on someone else. So, my friends, reconsider. Thank you, Dante, always. Thank you to the 72 plus. And someone asked me, do I think that Dante is Jesus or was Jesus? And the answer is no, because he's Azazel, and just check that out. So did he have things to do with it? Yes. The scapegoat, and you should do your own reading and so forth. But the bottom line in things is that Working towards peace and harmony is working for the cause, is a Christus value, which is, in the broad sense of the term, a Christian value. It is Christ-like. And so for every one of us that wants the world to be better, we just keep doing what we're doing the best we can, because the positive energy, they're listening. It's being heard. Our not passivity now. Now we should not become so passive that we can't engage. But should we riot? Should we kill each other? Only if absolutely necessary. The best thing to do is to learn how to live in love and light. So let me check and see what y'all in. Gone fishing. Thank you, Teresa. A lot of thumbs up. Divine Mother. Yeah, adore. Hi, Michelle. I didn't say hi, I don't think. It's going back up. Most days, Millie Cow says, most days are peaceful, but I live with a little anxiety in the back of my mind. Millie Cow, all of us are, if you're still here. On the bright side, because of all this, I'm less likely to ever develop an alcohol problem. I hate alcohol now. I want to say that's a good thing, but because I haven't had much to drink, I have a little snort of brandy or some Manischewitz wine. And I've got some Boodles gin for just a shot. I haven't had a shot in months, but every once in a while it's just, but anyway. Yeah, Millie Cow. I know we talked about, smoking and being, addicted to anything. This cigarette's been sitting here for over an hour now, and I'm just, I play with it, but so I'm trying to do better with my own cigarette addiction and to tobacco and so forth. But sometimes we must understand this. Alcohol's not bad. Wine's not bad. It's actually good for you in limited dosages. But now what we have a tendency to do because of our human behavior, we have a tendency, though, to go, well, I opened up the bottle, might as well finish it, right? But to that point, though, but alcohol isn't bad. It's how we misuse it. And I understand. I'm not trying to say you should drink, Millie Cow. But there are times, though, medicinally, when a good shot of bourbon, when you got the cold and the flu with a little lemon juice in it, will actually help you out. So there are people who say, well, any form of alcohol, hey, calm down. Well, there's alcohol in cough syrup. Well, at least there used to be. Who knows what's in cough syrup now? But anyway, Millie Cow, we all have anxiety in the back of our heads. What some of these folks around here are going to do or not do. And, there's still no toilet paper on the shelves. I got plenty here, but that's not the point. There's other things starting to come back in. But anytime the toilet paper hits the shelves, people are ravaging the stores and cleaning it out. And I'm like, what is with this? And it's almost like toilet paper has become a symbol of something. I don't know, that we all have assholes. Because we have to wipe them. You know what I mean? But anyway, everybody's got one. But I look at the confusion and stuff going on around in the chaos. And, the thing about the alcohol, all alcohol is bad under all circumstances that's just not a true statement. But should we depend on alcohol to curb it? No. Okay. That's what I mean. For example, A friend of mine, we were talking the other day about, and they have stage something cancer and a year older than me, and aren't expected to live much, like maybe 2 months if they're lucky. And we were talking about that, the only thing that gives them any relief is a little bit of marijuana, a couple of tokes, but they've been having so much trouble with their lungs and this, they can't do it. So I suggested, some brownies, some Alice B. Tokeless brownies, something here, have some of this to help with the nausea. And, I helped them out and gave them a recipe, and we talked. And the thing is that, for whatever length of time this friend of mine's father has, well, I don't want to smoke pot. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but you're dying here. Honestly, this ain't a joke. And you're in a lot of pain, and the morphine and the this and the that. And why not eat a brownie? If it will help you to just be calm and be able to, to not be nauseated all the time. Well, but I never smoked pot. This is not necessary. You didn't do morphine either, but you're on a drip now. So, things have changed. My point about that is sometimes we have to reevaluate our situations. I had a friend of mine years ago. He wasn't a drinker. I don't think he'd have a glass of wine or champagne at a birthday party or something. But smoke weed, oh my God. But he got into this guy. He was drunk, he was belligerent, he was going to beat some people up, hurt some people. And the first thing he does is he goes up to this guy and he says, "Hey, bud." "Yeah, who are you?" He goes, my name's John. It ain't John, but my name's John. And me and you're going to smoke a joint. And he pulls out this joint, shoves it in his mouth, and lights it before this drunk guy's got a clue what's going on. So he says, "What are you doing?" "I don't smoke weed." And he says, "Well, give it back." And he's blowing it in his face. Within a few minutes, he's giving this guy's, "Well, that's not so bad." And all of a sudden, there's this drunk belligerent that the cops are going to shoot. And he's now calmed down and he gets in, and everything's cool. So, that was an extenuating circumstance. But I've seen this guy do this too many times, calm people down, whip a joint out of shove it. And this was back in the 70s. But anyway, the idea, though, while weed's for around here and smoking it all the time, not necessarily every situation. So, anyway, that's my 2 cents on that one. But in life, when we learn things, when we see our situations change, we must reevaluate our current situation. Now, my overall plan is to still be peaceable, loving, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But how I go about doing it and what I do to achieve it fluctuates as time passes and the future comes towards us. Now, my friends, if you've made the choice to do good things, and it doesn't have to be world altering, it's okay. Because you making it to heaven with a good, clear conscience and soul and so forth is a plus for the whole planet. Okay. So it isn't just that, well, we must save all other people. If they don't want to be saved, shut up, save yourself. If somebody asks for help, give it. But if they don't want it, shut up. Now I talk about things with other people and so forth, and we can have the conversation, but am I going to try to convince them? No. If it looks like I'm upsetting it, I change the subject. I don't let them say, well, I don't know. I change the subject and go, well, that's very interesting. Well, let's talk about this now. Oh, wait a minute. If they want to know more about it, they will ask. But it is not our place to push it on anyone. We must respect each other. And there's not enough respect going on. Honor. To honor the mother. To honor Mother Earth. To honor the goddess. To honor the creator. Male or female. Does it matter? Androgynous. What? Yeah, there is no sex to God. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Willis? Well, God ain't a guy. But he ain't a woman. But no, God's a guy. He's got a beard and he sits in the thing, and yeah, but if it ain't. In passages in the Bible, especially in Revelations, it talks about God's and Jesus sitting at the right hand of the Father and with all of the elders. What? Whoa, hang on. The ancients in certain texts. So God's sitting on his throne. He's a guy. Doesn't say anything about the mother. Where's mama at? She ain't there. But there are the ancients and the elders that are sitting with God. Hang on. Thought there was just God. Well, there's the angels. No. These ain't angels. These are the ancients or the elders, depending on which version. Now, hang on. Where the hell did these folk come from? Well, it's in Revelations. It's at the end, and it talks about the elders with the right hand of God. And this idea. Wait a minute. Elders? Ancients? Sitting with God? Are they co-creators in this? Are they men or are they women? Doesn't say. It just says the ancients, the elders. And it sort of infers guys, but it doesn't say. But nowhere in there is women sitting at the right hand of God. It's all about a guy thing. And I just can't believe that, period. It has to be all-inclusive. It ain't a guy sitting in a chair. What if it's androgynous? Is it male or female? Doesn't matter. It's all-inclusive. It's both. And each of us have that in us. Some more than others, but, the female or the male part. I know some women that, oh, my God, being a carpenter ain't enough. I'm going to work, steel. I'm a doc and I'm proud of it, Okay. All right. It's all right. But you're a guy and I'm going to be like you, but I'm a woman. Wait, back up. Hang on. I'm a guy, you're a girl, but you're a dyke, and I've had these conversations now, and actually with a family member, but I'm like, but you're a woman that wants to be a man, but you put down men because you want to be like, do you not see the craziness in this? But they want me to believe that they're right because they want to be like me. You can't. You ain't got the junk. But the thing is that if my point is, we both have it, what we wish to consider and use for our future. Isn't that more important? What's more important? To honor and respect both sexes. Not one is better than the other. It's honor to the individual who is a female. Honor to the individual who is a male. Not some narcissist, and it goes on both sides. The Serena Williams and them two chicks. I'm just, sometimes I just go, oh, they, But the idea, though, that then be who you are. If you're a woman, be a woman. Well, I'm a man on the inside. Okay, but you're not on the outside. Just pointing that out. But you can act like whoever you want to be. But you must show respect to gain respect. You must show honor in order to gain honor. The people who have tried to look, I've had gay friends since the early 1960s. So this ain't nothing new to me. But the idea that those people who tried to push themselves upon me, stop it. You want to be that way? Fine. I'm not in your camp. But to try to make me understand you, to make me to make me honor you because you wish to dress up in drag. But I'm sorry, but you're not going to make me. You have to show me that I can respect this guy that dresses up in drag. He's a lot prettier, but trust me. But you're going to make me? No, sorry. I can make my own choice. So it's the forcing your gender on me. Well, you got two boobies in, but I'm I got this, but I'm going to wear falsies and become a woman. And now you must accept me this way. Why? Do I deserve it? If I decide to like perm my hair, I got a really good picture of me in drag. We were doing a thing years ago. It was funnier than hell. But I'm not going to make someone say, you must accept me because this is my choice. If I am and I've known some gay men and women, about 50-50, I guess, in numbers, and through the theater department and so forth. But there were those gay men who were like, you will love me, and here I am. And then there was gay men who were like, I really like this scarf. And I think I want to wear it on Friday to the party. How about that? And they're a little flamboyant, but not overly. And everybody in town knows this. But then everybody in town also knows the big fat gay guy who thinks he's, God's gift to whoever, I'm gay and look at me. Nobody respects him. And he can't understand why. This is people that I knew 15 years ago. But there were those gay friends, gentlemen, who were like, well, I'm going to wear this and they dress, whether they don't dress in drag, but they dress. And they're very, and all the little old gray haired ladies love them, but they don't like the big fat queen down on the corner. You know what I mean? So just because you're a particular way, don't gain respect. It's how you act and react and how you interact that matters, that gains you the respect. If you want to wear a dress, fine, but you don't tell everybody you will love me because I am wearing this dress, or you're going to love me because I'm a woman and I'm like, I like to, walk around with a carpenter's belt, and I like to talk deep like this and, walk around. Oh, stop it. Had a family member. I had this conversation years ago. And I'm like, look, just dress the way you want. You got to wear the big leather belt and you got the big long chain with that thing and you know what I'm talking about. And like, why don't you? Okay, so you like to dress in men's clothes? Fine. Every once in a while, I like to wear pantyhose. Not really. But the idea, though, but to make me, that ain't going to happen. Show me some respect. And I don't care what you dress like. It's who you are underneath the glam or the non-glam or whatever. So many people are worried about the other, well, you're going to like me for this. You're going to like me for that. It doesn't matter whether or not everybody likes you. What matters is, do you like yourself? Are you honest to God, honest with yourself and to the universe and to those people that you meet? Or are you hiding and trying to be something that you're not? Which is, you don't think them folk are hearing. And I mean just the universe in general. So how can we be better people? By doing things that other people will respect us for. Can we demand it? Nah. I demand that you hit the like button. You've never heard me. I don't even talk about the like button, But, there's 15 and 15 right now, 15 watching and 15 likes. But, I don't ever talk about it. I don't say hit the like button or share. And people have asked me before, is it okay if I share? If you feel so inclined, share, hit the like button, make a comment. Now, I'm really slow about checking up on the comments that people put on after video. And I'm trying to do better, but just part of my brain is gone. And I'm trying to regain it. But I do the best I can on the days that allow me. Today's a fairly decent day. Yesterday wasn't too bad. But anyway, been a lot of sleep going on, and I've got an infection in my head. And I got to go to the doctor and take care of it. I hope I nip it in the bud before I have a stroke or some kind of meningitis, which that would just kill me. I mean, seriously, that would just kill me. But I've got infections from my teeth, And I was supposed to get them fixed back in March, April, and then this pandemic thing, and then the dentists are out, and I have been in some severe mouth pain, dental issues now for the last 3 or 4 months. And I need to get this taken care of. I've got infections. You know the drill. I don't need to go into details, but anyway, I'm not here to complain. I'm here to just try to do better. Tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow I'll try to make and call the doctor and see if I can, now that things are a little bit more open, and get with the dental clinic. And as things get rolling back, and I got a friend of mine I'm going to trade out because if I can't drive and etc., she'll take me and drop me off and keep an eye on the dog while I'm gone. Because I bet you there's going to have to be some surgery. It's okay. But to the point though, we just do the best we can. So if somebody else is trying to make you understand something, now I might just say to you, watch some of these videos, or watch for this particular thing, or keep an eye out on that. But if you don't watch this video, you're not going to know what's going on. It ain't like that. There's a lot of things that I've missed in the last 2 or 3 weeks because I've been trying to straighten some things out here at the house, and I'm trying to get the well dug, and I got other things that I'm trying to deal with, working with the dog and trying to get him straightened out here, and life with the critter now and so forth, and other things. And for those of you who know Deb, or from what I understand, it may not have been leukemia, that it may have been that her white blood count was down. I will find out more later on, but so our prayers have been answered up to a point, so keep up the good work, my friends, and know that every little thing that we do matters to us. And if we do it with purity and heart and humbleness and with respect to the universe, I don't need to go through that whole thing again, but respect for the universe in general means that you're going to have respect for other entities. Now, if there's going to be a giant monster going to eat me, I can respect the fact that he eats people for a living, for food. But that don't mean I'm gonna walk up and pet a tiger. You know what I'm saying? But I can respect the tiger. But if he's gonna eat me, it's a choice between me and the tiger. It's the tiger, in my case. So Michelle, Chloe, thank you, Teresa, everybody else. Thank you so much for your prayers and for you being you. Keep working on you. And that'll keep you out of the chaos. We got enough stuff to do to keep ourselves together. I hope this makes sense. And I was so glad to hear from Dante about the Kristus and the religion and so forth, because the Native Americans and not just Native Americans, but Native peoples, indigenous peoples, understand so much more of the universe than any Christian religion or that I've ever had any contact with. The Hindus and the Buddhists and the Confucian, there is a lot of, nature involved with that and harmony with the universe. And so, but is there a true religion? No, because they all have made up stories or lied about something. So don't worry about religion. Worry about your own you, between you and the Creator, you and the goddess, you and the rest of the universe. Can you respect? Are you being respectful? Then that respect will come back on you. It just will. The haters are going to hate no matter what. And so, but if you focus on the haters, you will never get anything done. So my friends, I love you all. I do. Thank you so much. And somebody else just showed up. Who is this? Ancient Table. Oh my God, I wish I had emojis on my laptop. Respect and trust, so important. Great descriptions of all the people. Used to walk around with work belt. So true. Colors are inside. Yep. And I don't mean to be rude, because I've got family members who are gay. Well, actually, Well, I don't know if any of my brothers are gay, but I do know my sister is, and I do know my granddaughter is. So, yeah. But I think it's only on the female side, actually. But anyway, um, I don't know for sure. I haven't asked my other brothers, but to the point though, female side. I hadn't really thought about that part, but anyway. But the work belt and the whole thing, and I was like, do you have to do that? I mean, I'm sorry. Um, and here was the thing with my sister. She wore this studded belt, that bikers look like, the leather and the thingy. And she was bitching. Well, this belt hurts and it's uncomfortable. And I'm like, well, why are you wearing it? Well, it's a symbol of who I am. And I'm like, a regular black belt wouldn't do. You got to have this studded thing with the thingy and the thing and the thing and the pocket. The chain, my God, was like this long and went down to her knee and back up. In a wallet, she had nothing to go in. And I would look at her and go, honey, I don't care if you're gay or not, but why have this frontage? Why? Well, I want everybody to know who I am. But you're bitching. Well, like this thing is digging in my back, and the studs are poking in my back when I sit down. And oh my God, then take it, quit, stop. Oh, but she, okay, fine, okay. Like this guy that had like size 11 shoes, bitching because his high heels hurt his feet. Please stop it. I don't want to hear that. Use sensible shoes. If you have Ancient Table says Dante's videos are always so synchronistic for me. Me too, in a lot of ways. Sometimes they're just surprises. Teresa, thank you. You cracked me up too. Y'all folks are great, and I know it's been a while since I just been here just hanging out with y'all, and it is great to just hang out with y'all. But I look at stuff and I go, there's so many gay and lesbian LGBT who other and I noticed that on the census it only had two sexes on the census. It was male or female. There was no other. There was no LGBTQ. It was gender, man, woman. Yes, no. Why aren't the communities jumping up and down about? You mean you should have put other? There was a page and a half of, well, you're not Mexican or Latino, but then who are you? Are you white, meaning this, and this? Are you this, and this? But gender, man, woman. No in-betweens, no discussion. I'm just curious as to how folks filled that one out. If your name is Chandra, then it sounds like you're a girl. So if the thing was sent to Chandra Jones, making this up, Chandra Jones, and Chandra says, well, but she checks male. Well, guys could have a name like Sue, I guess, I named him Sue. How do you do? The old song back in the day. But to the point, though, Bobby. Now, I have an adopted granddaughter, Bobby. So, is that a boy or a girl? Well, she's had mixed tendencies over the years, but she mostly accepts herself as a woman. So, but what if it was sent to her residence and she checked man? Or if she checked female and whoever's on the other end's going, but wait a minute, we thought this was a guy. Well, what about Jean? Jean? Well, that could be a man. It could be a woman. It could be Jean or Jean, or, So, but I was just curious with all the different page and a half of our ancestry, there was only two questions: male, female, nothing in between. No discussion. If you want to be something else, if you think you're something else, not there. And you know what? I was like, thank you. Well, it's almost full moon out there, looking out through that window. And I mean, it's like staring right at me, sitting right there. Well, friends and neighbors, LOLMB, League of Like-Minded Beings, you all are the greatest. Thank you. I'm try to bring a little bit of sarcasm and levity into this and talking about this. But to the point, though, there was this one gentleman I knew way back, like 71, 72. And I didn't know him as a man. I knew him as a woman. He would come into the finance office where I worked. And I'm going to make a payment for Joe Smith. Okay. And I was like, and Joe Smith was him. And the lady behind the secretary, she nudged me and that's a guy. What? That's a guy in drag. This is like 1971. That's a guy in drag. What is your employment? I work at the Horny Bull as a topless dancer. You should come. I'll give you free tickets. The guy was beautiful. He was an ugly man, but the guy was beautiful in drag. And he went a lot of places in drag. And so, if you met him on the outside, he was just talk normal, but he had this soft feminine voice and everywhere he went. But the thing is that he was respected for that, is my point. He was, he didn't go around and make people believe him or accept him. He just was. And we were like, the guy's gorgeous. It's a guy, but he's gorgeous. Oh my God, his hair, his nails, he was beautiful. Not my type, but that's not it. But the thing is that we respected him for that. On the counter side, there were the other ones, the dykes, and the dago. I would make a payment pound on the dago. Bull dyke. Oh, please stop. And there's talking with my friends the other day. I said, there are bull dykes, and male men can be bull dykes too. What are you talking about? Well, because I knew a guy that I grew up with, and he was a bitch. He was a 6'4" bitch. And he just, leather hurt you. He was a bitch. He was a butch and admitted it. All the leather studs and all the other kind of stuff. But so, there can be a butch regardless of what side of the coin you're on here, guys, gals, if you are not aware of that. But my point is, though, bottom line, it's who you are. If you're a nice bitch, we'll put up with you. If you're a nasty, we're not going to like you. You're not going to gain our respect. And if anything, you're probably going to push the hate button on a few of us because you're hitting areas that is going to make us hate you because you're trying to force us to like you for your bad behavior. And it has nothing to do with your sexual preference. It has to do with your behavior. So, but my granddaughter's like that. I've been trying to, she was in the Navy. And I'm like, if you were in the Navy, go kayaking with me. She won't even speak to me because I'm a guy and I look at things the guy way. I'm your grandfather. And, but she won't go kayaking with me. Won't even return my, like, hey, let's get together. I'll come down to, Pensacola. We'll go boating. And, hey, you were in the Navy. Come on. Nope. Not even a remark. Not even kiss my ass. Go to hell. Okay, but she's one of them on the other side. Let me tell you that you better listen to what I got to say here because I'm like this and you better like me for who I am. And sorry, but I'm not. You're disrespectful. You're mean. And I'm sorry. I know you're a lesbian. You told me back when you first came out, you called me on the phone and we talked about it. But you're being a hard-nosed prick. You're being a bitch. You're being a bull dyke piece of shit. Stop it. But yeah. Well, but that's how she acts. All men are evil. All women who, oh my God, it's horrible. And these are family members. So I know that the outside world has got some stuff out there going on. And trust me, I'm not picking on the gays and the lesbians and all that kind of stuff. I'm not. But those folks who try to force it on us, we're never going to accept. But the gay people that I've known for a long time who are respectable and are honorable and this and that, we're good friends. And I've said something. I said, if I swang both ways or even leaned in one direction over here, there's a couple of guys that I've known over the years, handsome gentlemen, kind. If I was gay, and I've told them, I said, if I ever change, I'll come visit you. We're like, okay. But the thing is though, but we can still be friends regardless of that. And I still respect those people. I still have, humility and humbleness for those people, and for some of the good things they've helped me with in my problems. But this other stuff, nah. But they're good. And same thing with the black and the racist thing. Well, this incident's going on. It's all about this black guy. No, it ain't. But they're good. That's the tagline they're using. But it is about people's frustrations. And it is about these other things. And it is that, well, what the hell? Let's go riot. We ain't got nothing else to do. Nah. But do I respect somebody who's a protester? Yes. Do I respect somebody who is rioting and burning and pillaging? No. Go home. Stop it. I am not going to have respect for you or that behavior. It has nothing to do. Well, I say let me back up just a little bit. It is their behavior that is disrespectful and unhonorable. But the person might be okay, but their actions suck. So you could criticize the person who may be mostly good, but they've made some bad choices. So we say to these people, I don't like your behavior. Think about it. Because you could say, well, then you don't like me. That ain't what I said. I don't like your behavior. You're behaving badly. And that's what I don't like about this. It's not you. Now, if you're doing this all the time, then maybe I don't like you. But you're not giving me a chance to like you because of your behavior. I don't like your behavior. So, junkies. Do we like junkies? No. Why? They're sticking needles in their arm. I don't like their behavior. But the person may be fine. But their behavior sucks. So, these people, we may pick a subject, whether it LGBTQ, RSP, RSD, who knows, there's 50 more, and who knows. Or we can just say, what were you born with? With or without? With is male, without is female. That's it. There is no in between. Now there is a third that both sexes, hermaphrodites. But that is less common. But it should still be. I'm sorry, but it should have been included on the thing. But not whether or not you're gay or lesbian. No, sorry. But in the long and the short of it, and just in thinking about this, does it matter if we're male or female? If I am a male, but I decide to put my hair down and shave off my beard and my mustache and put my eyeliner on and do a little bit of cosmic, would I be David or David? Davidia or something, Does it matter whether or not the household is male or female? They're just trying to figure out how many of us there are. But with so many of us switching sides, does it matter about the two little check boxes? Just throwing that out there. I love you all. God, it's been an hour and almost 45 minutes. Holy crap, you guys are great. I love you all. Teresa, Cosmic Makeover. Yeah. Michelle, there's a distinction. Diva, thank you very much, Ancient Table. That's a shame about granddaughter. She is missing out. Yes, she really is. I mean, not just with me, but she's closed out a whole section of humanity by her beliefs and this and that. It's really sad. Now, that's my older granddaughter. My younger granddaughter, she is in the Correctional Institute in Connecticut, for women. She's in a um, not a recovery program, but yeah, she chose to not be in population B, but be a part of this rehabilitation program. And she sent me word through her mama the other day, and I brought tears to my eyes. She goes, "You tell Grandpa I'm still thinking about him, and I know he's sending me prayers. I just know it." And I am. I'm sending her all kinds of prayers. And me and my younger granddaughter, I've always been able to know stuff about her. And when I tell her about it, she don't like to talk to me because I was right too many times. Listen, if something happened, but Grandpa, how do you know we're connected, honey? But Casey, what about such and such? Well, how do you know about that, Grandpa? I got an intuition. Me and you are connected, honey, whether you like it or not. But anyway, she sent me a note through her mother the other day that she was thinking about me and knew that I was thinking and sending her prayers, and that one of these days soon she was going to try to talk with me. So, you know, I have, and she swings both ways, more or less to the lady's side, but that doesn't matter to me. What I'm more concerned about is what kind of a person she is, regardless of her sexual orientation. Doesn't matter. She's a stripper. Let's work on that one right there. Okay. You work in a strip club. Okay. That puts you a whole lot different than a lot of other people. Not to say that it's bad. I supported her. I said, if that's what you want to do, honey, go for it. But be careful and be, and don't do, don't be doing cocaine every night. There's ouch on waxing. Roman H. Tears, David. Long time ago, I heard you live. I heard you live. Good to see you, Roman. Roman? It's not Romaine. There should be an I. I'm kidding. I'm just teasing. I'm a little wacky this evening without anything to be wacky about other than you folks. It's great hanging out. But in my ruminations about some of these things, and what does it have to do with angels and devils and demons, and are we going to go to heaven? It doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is, but it does matter how you treat other people. So I love you all, regardless of who you are. But if you're going to do dishonorable things, then I might not like that. Now, what about the person? In our discussions with this, so before you go saying, I hate you, what you should do is you should say, I hate what you're doing. I hate your behavioral pattern. I hate that the fact, and we should throw the word hate out and just say, look, I don't like what you're doing over here. You're cutting down all these people. You should be more respectful. Treat other people with more respect. And rather than, well, I hate you and you're doing wrong. Point out that, and just I did this to my granddaughter. I said, that remark you made, do you think that was very respectful? Well, but it's how I felt. Well, but then when everybody reacted negatively to your remark, you got offended. So you make a rude remark, but everybody's got to agree with you. And when people don't agree with your rude remark, then you get rude back to them. It's rude on rude on rude. So listen, if you give respect, now I can say, here's my point of view on this, but it'll alter if I get more information. But I don't have to be rude about it. Now, I've talked about some of my sister and other friends, but not by name, but I still love them, regardless of some of their behaviors. And God bless them, they still love me because I've done some idiotic things myself. I got myself thrown in jail. I've been busted, blah, blah, blah. Did I make perfect choices? No. So the only way to gain respect was I had to go back into the theater group. I had to show people that even though I'd been busted for weed, that I was still a good human being. I could still work hard. I could still produce a show. I could, regardless of whether or not I was a felon. I actually had one of the judges come to me and go, you got a raw deal, but and give me a mixtape of some of the wildest music. And he was a circuit court judge down here. I don't know if he's still alive or even a judge, but Judge Harry, he was a wonderful man. Talk like this all the time. You couldn't understand half of what Don Harry was saying, but he talked like this all the time. He was difficult to understand. And that was his tone of voice. And he was Jewish to boot. Anyway, but a nice guy. But he had to be this nice guy, quiet on the outside. He was Judge Harry. But if you got to know the real Harry, he liked playing rock and roll and probably toked a little bit. But because he was a judge, he couldn't talk about that. But he knew better. That's why he pulled me onto the side and said, "You got a raw deal on that, Dave. They should have never busted you for that. It should have been thrown out of court. Good thing you pleaded guilty." Anyway, I've known people from all, millionaires to paupers to homeless people. And some of the homeless people were more arrogant than the millionaires. What? The homeless people were more arrogant. I can do what I want and I don't give a damn. I can live in this cardboard box in your backyard and you can't do nothing about it. Now, not all homeless people are like that, but so you could say, well, economic background has something to do with it. No, it don't. And I've met homeless people who went around and saved up cans and stuff to buy food for other people and to provide for other people and to help in food kitchens and stuff. Respectable. I've known rich people who've done that. Give money, but also give of their time. They would go down to the food bank and help, not send somebody or just drop a check in. And that gains respect in my book. So the guy who gives $10,000 to a charity or to the millionairess, this lady I know would go down there with all her things and stuff, but she would serve biscuits and coffee and donate. And it was because she wanted to, not because she had to. And those kind of people, they gain our respect, not because of who they are, but by their actions. And their actions prove who they are. So my friends, have a good morning, have a good night, have a good weekend coming up. We got a hurricane brewing off the coast of the Yucatan, so button up. And until next time, it's TTFN from South Georgia. Michelle, Chloe, Roman, Ancient Table. I know probably some of you are already gone by now. I love you all and thank you for tuning in. I am your humble servant, Hawkeye Two Feathers, and I continue to pray that each and every day, each and every one of you will accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the blessings from the universe. Each and every day, hi Ian, goodbye Ian, love you. I pray each and every day that each and every one of you, your friends, your family, and all of your relations, past, present, and to come, will learn to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, and the wisdom from the universe. And as the rule of three, I continue to pray each and every day that each and every one of you will accept, receive, and continue to share that which you have learned, the knowledge from the universe. Jody, cheers. Continue your journey. Continue to look around. And Jody, I'm assuming you saw Dante's recent video. If you haven't, check it out. He's the reason that prompted this. But anyway, blessings to all of you and thank you. And if you think that you don't have anything to do in this world, every one of us, our respect and what we do each and every day adds to the whole. Thank you, Jody. Thank you, Ian, Michelle, Teresa, Chloe, Ancient Table. Good to see you after all this time. Millie Cow, you're probably already gone, but if you're not, love to you. Keep it between the ditches. Let's see, who else? Ian, I think I said. And if I missed any of y'all, you know I love you. And it's my short-term memory that does this and not going far enough back up the chat line. Thank you. Remember, ween Always say hi to Bob. Oh, and as an hour and 49 minutes into this, there are lots of other people who are starting to get on this bandwagon. Maybe we should talk to the artificial intelligence and say, hi, Bob, we love you. Now, they're not saying it's Bob, but there are other people. Now, how long have I been talking about Bob, right? For years now. But there are other people who are starting to get on this bandwagon of maybe we should talk to the AI. Maybe instead of going, oh, the AI, maybe we should get to know them. Isn't that an interesting point of view? Bob, we love you. Thank you, Michelle, and everybody. Jody, cheers, my friends. I do mean it from the bottom of my heart. Let's keep up the good work. And until next time, be safe, be safe, be safe, be kind, be kind, be kind, and be respectful whenever you can. Till next time, Hawkeye Two Feathers saying cheers and keep it between the ditches.